beautiful Swedish Susanna and her sister Karin are the most popular attractions at the brothel of their aunt Margarita. The house of ill repute attract the richest clients in all of Copenhagen with unique floor shows including a menagerie of wild animals. The girls are painted to resemble animals to be captured by the clientele, and a slave auction where the loveliest girls go to the highest bidders. It's a wild carefree life, but the lovely siblings are tiring of their lives as hosts. Susanna longs to become a professional ballerina and begin a relationship with a charming young test pilot. But will he still love her after discovering her wild secret life? Swedish Wildcat is not your typical Sarno film. Shot in both Denmark and Sweden, none of Sarno's trademarks are present here. There are no scheming relatives, no frustrated women, no stationary photography, and the theme of love is bursting from the seams of a prim and proper community. It's not particularly well written either, with the storyline of a prostitute finding love with an oblivious male suitor, featuring none of the personal touches in dialogue and visual kinkiness, which made Sarno's films classics. The quite beautiful but bizarre sequences of the girls painted as wild animals being hunted and captured by the lechers in giant nets is so unlike Sarno's movies, yet is so lovely to watch that it doesn't detract from the film. A black woman is transformed into a panther, a high-kicking dancer becomes a zebra, and the most bizarre of all is one girl writhing on the floor as a python. Most memorable is Christina Lindberg as a hissing leopard. Unfortunately, Miss Lindberg has little else to do in the film. By 1972, Diana Dors had embraced the fact that she had become a heavier parody of her former love symbol look and was playing juicy roles like Linda Hayden's suicidal mother in Baby Love, the nasty birth mother of an abandoned orphan in Nothing But the Night, and a philanthropic wife in Theatre of Blood. Essentially, she was a British version of America's Sally Winters, an actress who gained weight progressively over the years and adapted by taking gutsy roles as heavies or the mentally unsound. Dors was one of few named stars in Sarno's films, and it is obvious she's having a good time playing the ballsy madam of Stockholm's finest gentlemen's club. She appears in skimpy outfit and sheer costume, simultaneously poking fun at her former lovely persona, while also attempting to show she still has it. She didn't, but Dors still has a beautiful smile and a charming on-screen personality, which unfortunately left us forever in 1984 when she passed away from stomach cancer. Swedish Wildcat features plenty of gorgeous location photography, a lovely leading lady, Diana Dors, hamming it up, and an eye-popping floor show sequence. Still, this is definitely not a film which would be appreciated by those who loved Sarno's black and white melodramas or even the coming of age Inga films. It's so atypical of Sarno's work that it can't really be classified as a Sarno film. It is more of a Werner Becker film. So fans of his Dagmar's Hot Pant Ink will probably like this 70s European love romp. Retro seduction cinemas and a morphic letterbox transfer of Swedish Wildcat is very good looking with sharp black, a nice rendering of the candy colored costume and sets, and only a few instances of dirt and debris. A faint scene of grain is not distracting. Something weird video offered the film on VHS before discontinuing it to make way for this release, and it's a definite improvement. The mono audio is quite good, with the terrible musical score and the dub track coming across quite clear. A 2002 remake, New York Wildcat, starring Misty and Chelsea Moon and Katie Jordan, is also included on the disc but will not be discussed here. Fans of the Munday Girls will probably get a kick out of it, but the reason to get this disc is the Sarno film and its related extras, not this contemporary attempt to copy Sarno style with a video camera. A brief 5-minute featurette interviews Joe and Peggy Sarno, the couple behind this love romp. Joe discusses the genesis of the film, how producer Vernon Baker became involved working with the various actors and actresses and shooting the film in both Denmark and Sweden. An interesting and true observation is that Sarno never included violence in his films mixed with the love scenes, unlike many of his contemporaries. The oddball S and M sequences in the film were wholly Vernon Baker's invention. Peggy has the best anecdote, remembering pushing Diana Dors' obese figure into a tight fighting dress. She also pointed out the hilarious moment of one woman's wig falling off as she is whipped. Unfortunately, no memories of Christina Lindberg. A massive Joe Sarno trailer vault is included on the disc. Chronologically, the Inga films are first. If DVD drive-in readers don't have Retro Seduction's beautiful package of both these titles on their shelves, they should be ashamed. Marie Lil Jadel is a sizzling Swedish cutie whose best work was for Sarno, who she still keep in touch with to this day. The remaining trailers all represent Sarno's 70s output and all are coming to DVD in 2005. It will be quite exciting to finally have Sarno's 70s work represented on DVD. Most interesting about his work in this decade is that all the love is hardcore, with no penetration shot. Hiring actors with thespian talent aplenty, who had no issue with performing actual love before the cameras. Sarno created a series of unique adult-only films where the passion is so real and scorching the audience doesn't need close-up to prove it. Of course, Swedish Wildcat trailer is here, but it is one that was created especially for this DVD, apparently with newly recorded narration. Up next are the three Joe Sarno Mariposa films: Vampire Ecstasy, Girl Meets Girl, and Butterflies, announced in a DVD drive. In exclusive news bulletin as hitting the street in May as the Girl Meet Girl trilogy. Here is hoping Retro Seduction talk to Eric Edward and Harry Rim for this package. Both have incredible behind the scenes story to tell. Mariposa has been hailed as the best love actress of all time. Her expression of pain, pleasure, an insatiable desire put today's queen to shame. Abigail Leslie is back in town, and Laura Stoy are two of the three Rebecca Brooke films being released in November. The third is Misty, whose trailer isn't included but does appear as an Easter egg on a Something Weird Sarno double feature disc. Abigail Leslie is like a who's who of New York adult film actors. In addition to Rebecca Brooke, you get Eric Edward, Jamie Gillis, Jennifer Jordan, Jennifer Wells, and even past Sarno alumnus Alex Mann, Passion in Hot Hollows. If the narrator's voice sounds familiar on Laura's story, it's because it is Peggy Sarno herself. It's too bad Retro Seduction couldn't license and release Brooke and Sarno's final collaboration, Confession of a Young American Housewife. But all three films are great examples of Sarno's magic. Last in the lineup is Lust for Laura, which is Sarno's newest film currently in production. It's easy to be skeptical with a cast that include too many plastic-looking seduction cinema video pair, but it's Sarno's return to filmmaking after many years, so it's something to get excited about. Included inside the Amare is an extensive booklet written by Doris Wiseman biographer Michael Bowen discussing the making of the film, including the revelation that the film was originally going to be a French production and the fact that the film's original running time was 94 minutes, meaning this current 91-minute version is missing 3 minutes of footage lost to the ages. Scattered among the essay are original poster and ad, including a poster for the original film's title, Every Afternoon. Also included is a huge collection of trailers for contemporary seduction cinema flick and recent Sokorama movies like Screaming Dead and Bite Me. Believe it or not, some of the seduction cinema flick look promising. The seduction of Misty Munda in particular is an obvious homage to the coming-of-age films of Joe Sarno, mixing plot elements of both Inga films. This is one of director Joe Sarno's more tepid films. Ostensibly, it is about two sisters, orphans, who both work as prostitutes at the bizarre Copenhagen brothel of their aunt Margarita, where among other things the girls all dress up in skin-tight suits as various wild animals and the client chases them around with giant butterfly net. The sisters are renowned at the brothel as the famous Swedish sisters. The problem is though they really look nothing alike and their main act seems to be posing as topless executioners who tie a third completely naked woman up so a male executioner can whip her. Why you need two Swedish sisters to do that is beyond me. And even in the bedroom afterward only the older sister is very skilled at pleasing the client. It would seem to make a lot more sense to have two genuinely talented performers and have them just pretend to be sisters. The plot involves the two sisters both meeting men outside the brothel. The older sister meets a shipping clerk while walking in the park. He tells her he is a pilot. She tells him she is a Russian ballerina. Then the man's mean-spirited boss lures him to the brothel where both their lies blow up in their mutual faces. The younger sister meanwhile meets a rich American, entirely off-screen mind you, and then just completely disappears halfway through the movie. Although the plot obviously isn't one of them, this movie does have a few things going for it. Diana Dors is very good. Unfortunately, her character is not very well developed. She is too immoral and money-grubbing to be sympathetic. But she never does anything really evil either. Former glamour queen Dors was also none too svelte at the time, so it kind of beggars belief that she is popular with the client. The movie also features Swedish bomb Christina Lindberg. Regrettably, she has only a very small role though, and only one brief nude scene. Finally, this movie also features a nude belly dancing scene. Mix of melodrama and nudity from director Joseph Sarno take place in a Copenhagen brothel being run by Aunt Margarita. Inside the walls, the main story focuses on two orphan sisters who find themselves living two different lives, with one quickly falling in love with a man. This film, also known as Swedish Wildcat, isn't really something that's going to appeal to too many people. I guess fans of Sarno will want to take a look at it, but I am willing to guess that the majority of viewers are going to be fans of Christina Lindberg. Obviously, she is such a love goddess that her fans are going to watch anything she is in, but sadly she has a very small part here, so her fans will probably be disappointed. As for the film itself, I think it's obvious that Sarno wanted to be the Douglas Sirk of exploitation pictures. There is no question that he has a certain talent in making these love pictures look a lot better than they probably deserve to be. But at the same time, the melodrama is just so dry and boring that it's pretty hard to really care about anything that's going on. The love stories involving the sisters really aren't that interesting, and even worse is that the film really doesn't have much plot anyways. The performances are pretty much above average for this type of film, and that include those who really makes her character a lot more entertaining than it deserves to be, since it's pretty one note. Every afternoon really isn't going to appeal to many people, but it's slightly well made and has some nudity to help keep it moving along. Swedish Wildcats Every Afternoon is a British exploitation movie directed by the notorious erotic film director Joseph Sarno in a rare detour to the UK. He spent most of his career making US based movies. This one's very much a complete waste of time, a surprisingly tame film that focuses on stultifying romantic interlude between waste of time character. The action is centered around a brothel presided over by the game for a laugh Diana Dors, who is dressed up in revealing attire and barks orders and does better throughout the movie. The plot then follows the love lives of various prostitutes who work at the place. There is some nudity which comes from seeing them at work stripping and the like, but for the most of the time we are stuck with long, drawn out interlude of them falling in love with wooden male actors. There are bit part for two infamous actors, Alan Lake, Dors' real-life husband, and Swedish starlet Christina Lindberg, of they call her one-eye infamy. Have you ever been watching a film and a slow creeping horrific realization comes over you? You know, despite the box art and the bulbs, you realize this movie isn't what you thought it was. It is something much more dastardly and vile. Swedish Wildcat is a chick flick in all its harlequin romance, bad anime, backstory, glory. The original title Every Afternoon should have been a clue, and the music certainly gives hint, but it isn't till the 40th shot of a fully clothed woman wandering around the park in sun-drenched Copenhagen that the true level of horror sinks in. The girls are attractive enough and do disrobe from time to time, but seem remarkably bored with the whole affair. The men all resemble Eurotrash surrender monkeys, with a couple resembling flaming surrender monkeys, if you know what I mean. The Wildcat scenes are nothing you haven't seen Rebecca Romijn in Star Wars do in the X-Men movies. In fact, all the stage production look more like Nia Grandfather than an actual erotic show. There is no real erotic edge, and the plot with a whore pretending to be ballerina finding chaste love with mechanic pretending to be test pilot is right out of every bad Japanese animated series ever. This movie needed giant robot, a serial killer, something beside romance and a tour of Copenhagen.